Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. Today I'm talking with Helen from Sleep Lifts. She is a podcast host and she is also passionate about us supporting us to getting to sleep, but also maybe going back to sleep if we wake up in the night and having nice dreams. She will discuss why neurodivergent individuals struggle with clutter, how our bedroom clutter can affect our sleep, and also ideas to help you to reduce clutter in your bedroom. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be
here.
Oh,
no, it's so lovely to have you. I can't wait to get into chatting about Sleep Lifts. So if you, because we already started and I was like, right, we've got to press record. So if you were a Barbie doll, what two accessories would you come with?
Yeah, I was thinking about that and I was like, ooh, maybe a microphone and a pillow.
Oh, nice.
Like, because I have my podcast. I also do voiceover work. So the microphone kind of is dual purpose there. And then sleep has just been such a game changer for me. I really went from feeling like sleep was this thing that got in the way of my life to flipping it around and looking at sleep as this thing that really helps me live the best life that I can live and be as healthy as I possibly can be. So I think a pillow is necessary.
And the podcast mic. That's great. Yes, for the voiceover. And it's so lovely. Your voice is beautiful, like in the Sleep List.
Oh, thank you.
And so I can imagine why you do voiceover work too, because it is very calming, soothing voice that you have.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So if you could work with a professional organizer, I could fly over to Seattle and be there with you. What area would you want help with organizing?
I have used professional help to organize my clothes, and that was awesome. It was a stylist who kind of came in and helped me organize for like outfits and stuff. So that was really awesome. She actually put like a little lookbook together for me so that I could like put my style, like so I could see what goes with what and come up with new ideas with my own clothes. So that was really awesome. But now I have that cupboard that's just got all the storage containers in it.
Like the Tupperware type containers. Yes.
Yes, all the Tupperware containers. And that, we organize and reorganize that thing every few months and it just becomes disorganized. So if there was some magic way to keep it organized, that is what I need help with.
Do you have a drawer?
It is not a drawer. It is the top shelf of a cupboard. And we did get rid of a lot of Tupperware. Like at one point we got a lot rid of because it was like too much. We don't store that much stuff. So we got rid of a lot of it. But what we have now is the right amount for our household. We just need to find a better way to store it.
Yeah. Definitely drawers are a lot better than cupboards. Cupboards are so hard to store Tupperware and to be able to see it without it all falling out all over the top of you. So tell us about your strengths. Like when it comes to Sleep Lifts, I've probably already touched on one of those, which is definitely your voice. What is like your strengths behind your Sleep Lifts and your podcast and even your voiceover work?
Yeah, so I think being open to fun new ideas is pretty helpful. There's a lot of things that I can create as lists, so it's fun to get new ideas from folks who are listening and research and come up with those lists. I'm a really good researcher. I like to take deep dives on things and look for the subject matter for my lists and sort of come up with how I'm going to organize my lists. So that part is really fun for me. And it's also fun because I only have to do it for like the one thing. I don't have to like continuously be concerned about American history if I don't want to be. Like I did the president's episode. I actually am putting together one on battles of the American Revolution. So like there's lots of things that I can do with history, but I can also just like walk away and be like, nope, we're doing like flowers now.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now. And I'm like do a deep dive into that. So I like that I get to touch on a lot of different things and learn a lot about a lot of little things. So I have this kind of surface level or like medium to deep level knowledge of lots of little things.
And so if you could choose one area, is there one in particular that you're really interested in?
Well, I did it. So season 3 was all culinary stuff. So it was all about my love for food and cooking. And I thought that's going to make it really easy. And then I realized that I didn't want people to be hungry as they were falling asleep.
Yeah.
But I'd already gotten so far down the road that it actually was the hardest one for me to do. Like, I thought that would be where like my interests aligned and like I love cooking. And so I thought it would be easy. And then I was like, oh, wait, food and sleep are kind of not actually supposed to go together. So, yeah.
I haven't listened to those ones yet, so I'll have to listen and let you know if how it makes me sleep or not. So what about the toughest decision? Have you had a tough decision that you've had to make?
I mean, I left a 20 plus year fundraising career, and that was really hard. It was the best decision that I've made for myself and my health, but it was really hard and really scary. I had a lot of my self-worth and identity wrapped up in that career. So I guess the thing that I would say to people is I was probably being told by my health and my body and the way I felt years before I left. And I should have listened earlier.
Yes. And that's what it does, doesn't it? It's like the Mack truck coming and telling us, oh, it's a small little car giving us a bump. And then it's like, okay, you're not listening now. Here goes the Mack truck. Are you going to listen now?
I basically had to be in a plane crash. It was bad.
Yeah.
it was like planes, trains, automobiles, sirens, like things were flaring. And I still had to have another person be like, could you maybe just take like a 1 month break and see what happens? Like, it was like, I was really trying so hard to white knuckle hold on to that career. And it was not the right choice for me. But now I get to do things that I really love. So
yes,
it turned out to be good.
It's good when we can look back, isn't it? And go, that was now the best decision that I made, even though it was really tough.
Yeah.
So then tell us about neurodivergent people, and they really struggle with sleep. And I definitely put my hand up to be one of those people. I would wake up, overthink. When I think back to when I was a child, even as a teen and into sort of young adulthood, and, you know, I tried so many things to help me with sleep. But what are some of the things, why is it so so difficult for people, neurodivergent people in particular, to sleep, do you think?
Yeah, some of it has to do with the overthinking, right? So that's a big part of neurodivergence is overthinking and having a lot of ideas. Like, your brain's not short for ideas. You've got so much that you want to like do and think about, and now you're finally like, it's finally quiet, and your brain's like, yeah, listen to all this stuff that I've got going on up here.
Yep.
So I think that in lay people's terms, it's really that busy mind that keeps us awake, right? Like, for some people, it's aches and pains and, you know, or having to get up to use the restroom. But for a lot of folks on the spectrum, experiencing anxiety and depression, which oftentimes manifests in symptoms that are similar to neurodivergence, and also even for folks who aren't diagnosed, but might be just having some issues with a busy mind, or what yogis call the monkey mind, where you're just bouncing all over the place. Getting to sleep is a real challenge. And it can be, you can get distracted by everything in your room. That's the other thing about neurodivergence that is particularly difficult is your room has to be comfortable for you, and tactile sensations and needing that like weight of something on you. Like, there's a lot of things that have to be lined up for the room to actually be optimized for you to sleep.
Definitely. So yeah, talk about clutter. So what's the problem with clutter?
So, I mean, I think we've all been in the situation where like you're holding on to objects, you're doing something with those objects, you get an idea, or you like get distracted, the phone rings, something happens, and you put those objects down. Those objects continue to exist there, and now you know where they are. Like, something in your brain has already just cataloged exactly where they are. But if you go and move them someplace else, or put them away where they're behind, like in a drawer or behind a door or in a basket where you can't see them, now they're gone. and whatever you were doing with them will never get done now.
Yep.
Never get back to them. And so I think that people who are neurodivergent do sometimes end up with a lot of clutter because every object that's not in its place represents an idea or a thing that was going to get done or be created with the object. And if they put it away, it's gone forever. Like it's just poof, not there anymore.
Out of sight, out of mind, isn't it?
That's out of sight, out of mind. And so that's what I think the issue is. Of course, that can cause a lot of problems for your sleep space, right? Because, you think, oh, well, I'm just going to close my eyes when I go to sleep. But are you looking around your room? Are you seeing all the unfinished projects? Are you thinking about the laundry? Do you need to worry about, how can you calm your mind when the space that you're in is filled up with all of your previous ideas, let alone all the new ideas that you've got coming?
Yep.
So that's what I think is I think that's what the challenge becomes. And so if you can forge ahead with new habits of helping to put things where they belong, not just where you left them, right? So you make a place for things, and then that's where they go, and they're there for you when you need them. That's amazing. That takes a lot of work. And then also just being able to have a way of cataloging the things that you're working on or the ideas that you've got, where it's not necessarily inside your head, but you can, stick it on a to-do list on your phone, or, it's calendared now. You've put a time block, so you're going to come back to it at the end of the week. You're going to do that task. That can be really, really helpful for folks that struggle with organizing their time and their day and their executive function. Is you have a place where you do all the organizing of all the things that you do, and you stick it there.
Yeah. And even if it wasn't even in the bedroom, like it was somewhere else in the house, that you've got those objects if you really needed them out with your list, and then to come back, because I see it regularly that people are so resistant to putting it away, and it's okay, but let's just move it out of the bedroom at least, because this is affecting your sleep in this room.
And put it into, right, because you want your bedroom to be this sanctuary, right? You want that to be a place that feels calm and safe and comfortable for you. And so you're already going to have fluctuations in temperature just because of the weather, and making sure your windows open. Are they not? Sounds, if there's outside noises or neighbors or dogs or birds or, pets, whatever, partner snoring, there's issues with sound. You try to find the right sheets or pajamas so that your skin feels comfortable, the right blankets, that you have the right amount of warmth, but not too warm, and the right weight, but not too heavy, so you don't want to be suffocated or crushed. So there's a lot to think about already to make it a calm and welcoming space. Don't bring other stuff in there that you don't need.
Yeah, true. Great advice. So then what other things have you done in the past to help you with your sleep in your room, or routine that you have? Do you have a nighttime routine?
I do now have a nighttime routine. I've had to put away my phone. My phone goes next to my bedside because it is also my alarm.
Yeah.
But it goes next to my bedside when I come up the stairs. If I want to listen to music, I put the music on the phone, and then I broadcast it to a speaker in my bathroom. But the phone does not come with me to the bathroom. It is too distracting. There are too many things I need to get done in there. So I have to do all of the routine. So that's one thing, is putting my phone aside has been one major change to my routine that's been super helpful. Ideally, if I could just get it out of the room completely, that'd be even better. I should probably go back to an old-fashioned alarm clock, but I like the way my phone wakes me up. And anyway, so that's the compromise that I've made. Lights down low. So that last hour, 2 hours of the day, really when the sun starts to set, lower the lights in your house. If you don't have dimmers, at least turn off the big light in the ceiling and put on just a few smaller lights, so you can get through the house, but you don't injure yourself. But you want your melatonin to start being produced. And it won't do that if if your body has lots of bright lights. So that's another one that I do. That helps. things that I've tried. I mean, I've tried all kinds of things that haven't helped. I've tried white noise. I tried
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of different auditory things that did not work. All the different colors of noises, people's stories. Like they're like, oh, these are boring stories that'll put you to sleep. Like, like when you were a kid and your parents used to read you a nighttime story. I'm like, no, I know what's coming next. I don't know what's coming next. I need to know what's coming next. I want to follow that plot. It's not going to put me to sleep. And now you're just drawing out this plot for 45 minutes when it could have been 3 sentences. I'm angry at you now. You're inefficient. Like it's frustrating. So those didn't work so great for me. I know some people swear by them, but they did not work for me. I now need to have a fan going, and it's actually a quiet fan. Some people need a fan for the white noise. Totally understand that. I need a little bit of air circulating, like, because my temperature fluctuates. I'm of a certain age, and my temperature fluctuates regularly now throughout the night, and being able to, like, have that breeze going really helps. So my poor husband sleeps next to me, and he's like underneath all the blankets. But
yes, my kids both sleep with their fans on, and even it's middle of winter here, and it's like really, it's so cold in here, but they love it too. I think it's like open up, cool down, go back under the blanket and hide as well. Yeah,
and it's really good. Your body does need to actually like cool down to go to sleep. There's like a whole thing with your sleep cycle. So it is really, generally speaking, good for you to be able to be cooler. And if it's ever been like really hot where you are and you don't have any air conditioning, or you've been stuck in a place where the temperatures are in the, like 30s in Celsius, I think, like that's like you're dead, right? Like it's really hot.
To 40.
20, like high 20s, 30s in Fahrenheit. It's, the 90s or over 100 degrees. And you can't get to sleep. Your body's like, no, something's wrong. I can't do it. So it becomes really hard to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. So temperature's really important, isn't it? What about, do you do like a skincare routine or anything else like that?
I do. And I think it can be really relaxing. Yes. Whatever it is that you want to do. I know they say to use like red light, like if you're using like a red light mask or something like that, I would stick that further back in your, like before you kind of get to your bedroom, or like before you're really on your nighttime routine for going to bed, just because it's light. And even though it's around your face or whatever, there's not a lot of research on it, but I would just stay away from extra light in your face. But washing your face, putting your serums on, you can really make that a soothing routine that you can use as, self-care. Touching your face and massaging the muscles in your jaw is really relaxing, your temples, and, throughout your forehead. There's a spot right between your eyes, kind of, and a little bit above, sort of just below what yogis would call your third eye, but just below there, in that little, and almost as you're getting to the top of that little concave portion of the bridge of your nose, that is a spot that can really help relax us. So if you can put pressure on that spot, that can help you go to sleep, and can be like one of the last things to do. Also, if you have skincare products that don't bother you, but that have really soothing scents. So eucalyptus and lavender, when you're going to bed at night, are good for nighttime routines. So those can be really helpful. And, if you want to light a little candle with vanilla and lavender, I'd say go for it. And music, I do listen to really relaxing music, like no news. I try really hard. The last hour of my day has nothing to do with the outside news, nothing to do with like action movies, horror movies, any kind of media like that that's going to have like upsetting or disturbing images. It's all like fun, lighthearted, nature, like it's all very like
calming
chill,
and soothing.
And calming.
Yeah. So then tell us about sleep lists. How can they help people? And what are they?
Yeah.
Because some people are like, what is a sleep list?
A sleep list is, So we've been talking about it because you've been using them. And so, a sleep list is just a curated single topic list that I pull together and research And then I recite that list. It's set to a relaxing soundtrack. My recitation is at about 60 beats per minute, which is kind of like the resting heart rate. So it should help you sleep. And it's very soothing. It's just very soothing and relaxing. You turn it on, and it's somebody saying something to you outside your head that's kind of interrupting all that monkey brain stuff that we were talking about earlier, where all those ideas are going on, and you're not going to do anything with those ideas anyway. So it's a way to sort of calm them. It gives you a little bit of time to sort of start drifting off between the words or between the items on the list, but not so much time that you're like, oh, and I'm thinking about this, and now I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about this. So it's just a really relaxed paced list to help you fall asleep. And it's really, it's a non-pharmacological way to engage. And so you can put headphones on, you can use a little speaker to listen to them. And depending upon how you set them up and what platform you're listening to, you can either string a number of them together to help you if you really want a long list, or you can listen to one, set it up, and then your whole system will shut off, so you don't have to worry about the next thing playing and waking you up again.
Yeah, yeah. What's some of your favorite lists that you have created?
Well, I need to re-record it, but the numbers one is the very first one, and it's just special to me because when I was trying to find a solution for my sleeplessness, I needed that. Like, I was like, why can't I find someone to just count me to sleep outside of my brain? And there are some pay-to-play apps that had it. I thought there would be language channels, like English is a second language, right? Like, wouldn't they have a list of numbers? I couldn't find counting. I couldn't find it. And so I made a list of counting 1 to 500. There is actually, I shouldn't say this, there's a tiny little verbal error in that one. And it was before I figured out how to edit. So I was like, I'm just going. It's like up in the 400s. Don't wait to listen to it. Just go to sleep. But yeah, that's kind of one of my favorites just because it's where everything started. And then I had a lot of fun with the list for dogs. We're coming up on one that I'm going to do for cats too, so I'm excited for that.
See, and so it's interesting. We were talking before. So when I heard the Pokemon one, I was like, oh, I've got to save that for my son. So last night he was in a good mood. So I was like, oh, I found this really fun list to listen to. I don't know if it'll make you go to sleep or not, but it might just put you in a good mood. And it did not make him go to sleep because he was like, oh no, she pronounced that name wrong. And then he was like trying to guess
in my American accent,
which one you were. And then it's so funny because when he pronounced it, it's like, yeah, no, she said it the same. You've just got a really strong Aussie accent. And then he was trying to guess what you were going to say next. And I was like, this is not working for you to go to sleep. But then you'd say one, he'd go, yeah, that's my favorite. And then he would say something else about it. And so it wasn't sleeping, but it was definitely relaxing. It definitely was something that he was like, this is really good, Mum. And I went, I think you need to listen to the beige brown ones instead.
Yes, all the shades of beige.
That was
a fun one. Yeah, that's a good one. It's that's part of the season that I dedicated to idioms about falling asleep. So that idea of watching paint dry and how boring that is. And so it's what's more boring than watching beige paint dry? I can't imagine. And so, yeah, that's all the different.
It's funny, the cute names
hundreds
that they
and
had,
hundreds of beiges.
The names are really cute. And then and the sheep as well. The
yes,
and the idioms.
There's like 400 or 500 that I ended up using breeds of sheep, but there's like 700 different breeds of sheep in the world. That was a fun list to research, and it almost got me. Yeah, I almost went so far down the rabbit hole. I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to come up with a comprehensive list, but ultimately Wikipedia saved me because they had a list, and I was like, let me just check and make sure these are actually sheep breeds. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, I think we'll go with this list because these are all verifiable.
Okay.
So I don't like to give bad information.
No.
I was like, if it's actual information, like the names of the paint, it's like, oh, whatever, I can make those up. It can be Gouda cheese or like, whatever.
Burnt marshmallow.
But actual breeds of sheep, I can't do like anything that would be like not true. So I try to be really good about like where I got my information from. And I'm one of those people who, if I listen to somebody give a list and they didn't say kind of how they came up with it or where their information comes, I'd want to fact check them, and that wouldn't help. me get to sleep. So
And so have you got another one coming up to come out?
I am working on 6 new ones. Yep. Yes. Season 4 has been a little bit delayed. I've gotten really into some voiceover work, and so I haven't been able to get them out on the schedule that I wanted to. I know that's the podcasting cardinal sin, but I'm only one person. And so, yes, I've got 6 new lists coming out. I actually uploaded the research for those lists to my Patreon, so they get a little sneak peek there. Nice. And I'm getting ready to upload them early to my Patreons and then out to the general audience.
Fantastic.
So this summer they'll be out.
Yep. Which is our winter, which is even perfect for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
winter.
Yeah. So then how can people find you? How can people find the sleep lists as well?
Yeah, you can find all of the episodes on my website, sleeplists.com. It starts with an S and ends with an S, so it's sleeplists, plural.com. And also on most of the streaming platforms for podcasts. So Spotify, Apple. I love when people listen and rate and review on Apple. That's super helpful for me and the algorithm. So I definitely encourage you to do that. And just enjoy listening. And if there is a platform that you want to listen on and you don't find it on there, because I'm on a lot, but if you don't find it, things always change, contact me using my website and I will absolutely get it up and going for you.
I love that it was on Spotify because that's what we listened to in my son's room. He had this little Google Home, so he played it on that because he doesn't have a phone in there. So that was good because then he was like, so you can just ask it and it'll play the sleep list that you want then. So, I love that. It was great. Thank you so much for your time, Helen, and for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
All your lists as well. And hopefully other people out there will find them really useful as well.
I really hope so. Thank you so much for having me on and wishing everyone a beautiful night's sleep.